Learning and knowing thyself is the key to growing confidence and self-esteem, and to manifesting and attracting anything you want. When you know yourself so well and love all parts of you, nothing and no one can break you. Hey there, it's Ellie, and welcome to another episode of Soul's Purpose Podcast, the podcast that aims at keeping you vibing high when you're feeling low. So, how are you doing today? I just want to say I feel like I'm getting better at coming on and doing these videos, knowing that it just helps me on my journey to help somebody, even if it's just by listening to my voice. I feel like I just feel less anxious about coming on. I still stall. I take forever to get on, but when I get on, I'm on. So I feel good about that. And let's get into today's video. Okay. So, today's episode is about energy and intentions. Everything is energy. Your aura and your energy affect the law of attraction. That means your vibration determines what energy you attract in your life. How is your energy? How are you vibrating these days? How much do you invest in yourself and your spiritual journey? Most of us give in to our distractions a lot more than we pay attention to how we're feeling and assessing those feelings. Instead of regulating our emotions and sitting in our feelings to really feel them and assess them, we give in to our daily distractions, such as mindless scrolling. This is a big one, I feel like. So if you do this, I know it can be kind of a common habit these days. Just, going to the bathroom or going anywhere, waiting for somebody, standing in line. But we really need to be more conscious of it. Now, what kind of mindless scrolling do you do on social? Some would argue, one is worse than the other. Like, at least I'm not stalking my family member or my sister's husband or something weird like that, It's not weird, it happens. But really, what are the intentions behind that? It's boredom. And an idle mind is a dangerous one. Because once you start to ascend, you notice that you're more aware. Your self-awareness has improved, has increased, and you start to pay attention to not just how you're feeling, but to those around you. And that's pretty big, that's pretty deep. Because you start to pick up on like the nuanced behaviors of those who are troubled. Maybe someone anxious standing in line, they hate waiting in lines. Some agitation, some irritation. Because once you start to ascend, you really don't get very agitated or angry anymore. Everything is really not that bad. Things are easier to deal with. But it really, you have to go through so much ego death and so much ego dissolution to understand what that bliss feels like. I mean, you'll be a brand new person. And it'll be a beautiful thing. I'd say for myself, I don't really do the mindless scrolling. And thankfully, I've come to a place where I mean, I never really was like that before, but I would do the mindless scrolling, you know, back in the day. But I'm content. I'm happy truly with my own life and what I've got going on. I know how I'm blessed. I have so much gratitude. I know there's so much more I can do. There's so much more I can improve on. But I'm really proud of what I've achieved thus far after going through adversity, being able to choose a better path. Because I could have gone down a really bad path, just like any of us are capable of. And so, because I feel happy with myself for the most part, there are always things we can improve on, always things that we can be better at. But if you know you put in the work and you know your intentions are good and you're working on yourself, then most parts of you are pretty good. And so because I'm happy with myself and I'm secure and happy with my life, and I don't need to look around and see what else is out there and what's going on. I mean, if it's like to see maybe a friend who had a baby or something fun like that, like that's cool. But even then, what are the intentions? Why are you scrolling endlessly on Facebook? What are you looking for? What are you looking at? What are you looking to compare? Because that can really damage you. It can damage your sense of self-worth. And it could bring about envy. It's not necessary. You know, and what about mindlessly scrolling on Instagram? Yeah, I don't do that. I just don't do that. I just post what I need to post and I move on to the next thing. And that's because I read tarot also, right? So that's mostly dedicated to my work. On Instagram, I get a little bit more personal for my collective who wants to see that side of me. But other than that, no, not so much. And I'm more conscious about what I post. And, you know, there's a sense of responsibility you have to have. And I feel like social media has just gone too far with how addictive it can be for some. And that, again, falls not on the platform. It falls on the person. But I mean, we've created something so powerful that now if we don't have the responsibility to maintain properly, we can lose control. And that's a dangerous place. So I would ask you, like, what your intentions are with the mindless scrolling. You know, if you're looking for a recipe and you want to find something like good to cook for dinner, that's one thing. But if you're mindlessly scrolling and feeling crap about it because you're comparing yourself to someone else, why do you feel this way? How can you improve? How can you make your life better? Excessive TV watching. So I feel like this was a rabbit hole I could have gone down. Well, I was down for a little bit when I was like really feeling lost about what to do with how to, you know, kind of switch up my channel, what I was going to do. I was feeling really lost. I had no clue what I was doing. I felt bad that I didn't know what to do and what I was doing. And then, you know, a couple of days I just given up and I just went on like this marathon, this like TV binge. And I got lost in the art for a little bit. I would tell myself, oh, I'm watching these like lovemaking, these love matchmaking shows on TV because I want to watch how others connect, how they make connections, what the personalities are like. But really, yeah, while I was doing the research, the truth is I was just getting lost in the streaming service because I didn't want to deal with the now. And that was a great way to just like kill time, if you want to use that term. And that's such a bad term because we only have so little time. You shouldn't ever kill time. Every moment should be spent as if it were your last. So I suppose you can say it must almost be a rock bottom if I'm giving away hours because I don't want to deal with my feelings. I remember being in that rut for a few days. But everything happens for a reason. And you usually get the answers after going through some stuff. And that is the simulation. Are you guilty of the excessive TV watching? What is it you don't want to deal with when you're engaging in an 8-hour TV marathon? Addictions, substance or other. When we give in to our addictions, so what kind of addictions? Bottle of wine after work. You started with one glass, and now you can have a whole bottle to yourself. You know, the drug addiction to cope. This is a lot more like normal or normalized than we realize, and that is really scary. That is really scary. This is a hard and tough topic to touch on, and I will do a more in-depth episode on addiction because I really want to get some insight. I really want to learn more. I want to speak with someone who's, gone through AA, done the steps, who's willing to talk about it. Sobriety, family, trauma, building trust again. I mean, there's so many things to talk about with that. So how the 12-step program is really a guide through your spiritual awakening. It's spiritual. The first time I read the 12 steps, I was freaking out. I was like, this is a spiritual book. These are the guidelines to spiritual evolution. Like, wait, where's this book been all my life? What other distractions do you indulge in? Let me know, because I'm sure there are a lot of distractions out there. Why this pattern of giving in to distractions is dangerous. Not addressing underlying issues, feelings. Why is that bad? Well, if you do that enough and you suppress, your body starts to shut down and you start to give in to those bad behaviors we talked about, those addictions. I mean, insert substance here, insert habit here, That's why needing to be healthy, like spiritually, is important because it affects everything. Because if these emotions are not dealt with, these feelings are not addressed and regulated and dealt with, and you suppress them, it's like poison. It is toxic. It comes out of you in the form of addictive behavior and addiction and vices and a drinking problem and a drug problem, because that stuff numbs the pain, silences the emotions, but you're just kicking the can down the road. Because the more you deny and the more you deflect, the worse it gets. And then you find yourself in a deep, dark hole, all alone, on the floor. Your loved ones can't believe a word you say. You lie about everything. and you don't even know why you're here anymore. I imagine those are some of the thoughts that someone dealing with addiction goes through. And everyone can feel that way, but the longer you don't address your issues and your emotions, the worse it can get, to where you could also fall prey to addiction. It can happen to any of us. And that's why this work is so important to me. This is Spiritual Fitness 101. Welcome. Continue on a low vibration without spiritual evolution. Yeah, so if you don't want to evolve, you will continue to be in this sorry circle of chaos. It's just a cycle of misery. And you will not get out of this rut until you change something. And that's just the name of the game. It's all about leveling up. If you decide to stay at the same level, you will continue to get the same reality. And that's just that. So what do you want to change? Attracting negative energy and emotions. Misery loves company. I think we can all agree. That's what that means. Fast lane to addictive behavior. Okay. Oh, I was just spoken all these things already. But yeah, we're human beings. We are supposed to connect as a community. We're supposed to be with and around each other. Really thrive in community and interacting together. Preferably in person, but if we can't, at least we have this, but some form of genuine connection. This is how we find ourselves together in unity again. There's so much going on these days where things are more confusing than ever. And with AI, well, things are about to get really weird. You really have to start understanding yourself and knowing yourself, because there's going to be a lot of ways to get misinformation with someone who looks like someone, but hey, it's just kidding, it's AI. We're going to really have to be firm in what we believe our purpose is here and what we're supposed to do. And I believe we're supposed to evolve, we're supposed to connect, we're supposed to remember that we are one. And we're working on it, but the world is ever so confusing. I mean, almost everybody's spiritual now. It's easy to get lost in the fog. But I really ask you to question yourself on this. Ask yourself, when you hear someone speak, what are they saying? Does it resonate with you? How does it make you feel? And if you're on matching vibrations, you will connect, right? If you see something or you hear something and you're like, that sounds like BS to me, I don't like what they're saying, you're just not on the same wavelength, and you move on. But it's important to pay attention to the information, because there's a lot of good information, but there's also muddled in that a lot of bad information. And more than ever, we have to be sure of who we are, what we stand by, and what we value in this life. Because there's so many ways to be tricked and misled these days. And that's all I can ask of you. Learn to trust your own intuition. Train that. Train yourself to listen. How does it make you feel when you're with a friend who always talks behind your other friend's back, but then pretends to be the best friend in front of them? I mean, are you just people pleasing because, oh, maybe they have the best intentions, they mean well, but that doesn't sit right with you. That's not friendship. That's not honesty. That's not authenticity. All of this to say, what does any of this mean? What I'm trying to get to is, how do we manifest what we truly want? First step, you got to get in that vibration. What is required of me to raise my vibration and change my mindset? What are my desired outcomes? Am I open to the other doors and the possibility of a different reality? What am I really afraid of? Challenge your ego. Embrace the fear. Dive deep into it. The more you linger, the clearer it all becomes. Your ego, in an effort to protect yourself from failure and hurt, tricks you. It tricks you into thinking the worst of yourself, that you're not enough, that you're incapable, that you don't have much to offer or have any real value. This is where the intuition training begins. And I got that in caps. In caps. Learning and knowing thyself is the key to growing confidence and self-esteem, and to manifesting and attracting anything you want. When you know yourself so well and love all parts of you, nothing and no one can break you. You will have firm, healthy boundaries, and people will leave your life like dominoes here and there, but that is part of the journey. Because when you raise your vibration, only those on similar wavelengths will be able to communicate with you. There is a level of understanding between vibrations. You will soon see that as you begin your ascension, the things of the past that used to entertain you have now drifted away from you and have made you become disinterested. As you ascend, you will start to see certain people leave your life. They no longer understand why you always just want to be by yourself and go hike and sit out in nature and meditate and stuff. They're like, what happened to you? We used to go to the club and now all you want to do is hike and drink tea and meditate and journal. Like, why? They don't get it anymore. They don't get it. So people start to leave your life. And then the things you were interested in before kind of lose their value to you. Going out every Friday and Saturday used to be fun. Wasting money at the bar, acting a fool, trying to get phone numbers or trying to give phone numbers doesn't interest you anymore. You'd rather stay in and watch the moon and the stars, or appreciate a good hike or a sunset. Spend a lot of time in nature. Start to be more conscious of what you listen to. Maybe you start journaling and you meditate in the mornings or before bed, and it really gives you clarity and peace. Go for it. But those are some of the things that start happening. If you're going through this right now, let me know in the comments. I really want to know. How do we manifest what we truly want? You increase your value system. This is the part of you that holds your deepest beliefs and values nearest and dearest to your heart. Perhaps in the past, politics and religion were what you had held dear. As you progress and you experience ego dissolution, you tend to care less about the problems of the 3D world and tend to focus more on spiritual development and connecting consciously with others. You increase your value system. So again, things you used to value lose their value. Maybe you liked to get, $2,000 handbag. Like the purse was everything. Oh my God, right? Oh my God, the Birkin. But now you're like, I could spend that $2,000 to go on a retreat or go, to a spiritual seminar or a solo backpacking trip to be out in nature, or to just be more spiritually evolved. Just do something with your health, like you want to go rock climbing or paddleboarding, just anything to do with nature and the betterment of you. Those are the things you start to pick. And those are the things that start to become your value system, the things that you value the most. And that's change. That's how you evolve. But it's really cool to see how you evolve in the other ways once you take the steps spiritually. Because it's just like it works inside out. It's really cool. When you have good energy, everyone wants to be around you. This high vibration energy is desirable. It makes the people around you happy. Your smile and laugh is infectious, and you know how to work a room. You are also mesmerizing and quite shy, but your humility is sexy and approachable, which makes most want to gravitate toward you. It's very easy to pick out the haters in the room. They are the ones who usually have something negative to say. And they do that because they are insecure and have some self-love work to do. It's very interesting once you understand energy and you start paying attention to your surroundings. I'll be anywhere, in a park, at a store, in the gym, anything like that. And it's almost like most people want to be friendly to me, even if it's just like saying hi or something, or like making small talk or something. They just want to talk to me. And it's almost like if I've carried a conversation with them, a lot of them are really surprised at how well I listen. And they're almost shocked that I exist, because most people don't listen these days. That is really wild to me. So we are at the start of this spiritual game. If you get on this train right now, you could be one of the pioneers. And then you lead your collective. This is the start of the new train moving. Train's been moving. We're just on a new one. Let's put it that way. If a lot of people feel that most people are in it for themselves and don't care about anybody else, and then they meet the needle in the haystack, dime in a dozen, is that the saying? I'm not sure. But like the rare gem of a person that you are, who knows how to listen and listen well and make someone feel valued. Do you understand what power you have now unleashed and unlocked within yourself? That's about the power of influence. I can get into that in another video, separate thing. But good energy, that high vibration energy, is really one you want to aspire to, because you want to see what kind of prowess you possess. What powers can you unlock? What is it that you have that makes you tick? And what is it about you that makes you so mesmerizing and desirable and of such value? And how can you show that to someone else? Just by being around you, people's energy is better. You make them happy. They feel good. Maybe you're attentive. Maybe you talk to everyone in the room. You don't exclude anybody. You don't discount anyone. Everyone is important. Everyone has value. Everyone has an opinion worth listening to. Maybe you make people feel like they're heard. Like, what is it that you do that makes you know that you're so worthy and you are so confident and you are so humble that people just want to be around you and want to learn from you? That is the energy that we all can vibrate at. We all possess it. It's just about tapping into it and finding it again. and it's a constant thing. Ask ourselves, what are our intentions? What are your intentions? When you're mindlessly scrolling, what are your intentions? Are you dealing with boredom? What could you be doing instead that would be better than mindlessly scrolling on social media? How about that? What do we need to improve on? That's a simple question. There's always something to improve on. So what can I improve on today? What can I focus on today? I think that's fair. What habits are hurting me? That's a big one. Let me know. What habits will make me better? What habits will make me better? What can I do to be more accountable? One of the first steps into really understanding your spiritual journey is having accountability and having self-awareness. Those are the main things that I always come back to for myself on my own journey that I notice are a trend. It always comes, like if there's any kind of issue with why someone is doing some shady stuff, if they have a partner or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife, oh, but it's not cheating. It's just, liking other girls' pictures on Instagram. Okay. But why is he doing that in the first place? Why is she commenting on this guy's post in the first place? What are their intentions? Because when it comes down to intentions, then you can always rely on the facts. If someone loves you, they are going to love you with intention. That is a decision. Love is a decision. And if their intentions are true with you, then their intentions are to honor you and respect you in everything that they do. I don't think it's honoring and respecting someone if you're liking someone else's pictures or sexting or doing anything that you feel would be dishonorable. And if you're confused about that in your own situation, just practice empathy. Flip the situation. What if the shoe was on the other foot? Would you do that to your partner, what they're doing to you? And if the answer is no, then you're valid in cracking on them and asking them, what the hell's going on? What other important daily questions would you ask? Let me know. I want to hear what your daily mantra is. Let me know in the comments. Share what habits you have that help you on your spiritual journey. This is a big one. Please let me know because so I like to drink tea. I like to go on hikes. I like to go to the park and just kind of lay on my towel or my mat and just maybe have some tea and just take in nature. Really learning to be present. And then working on more meditation, clearing my thoughts. I used to have like bliss. I would have no thoughts. I would have a clear mind. I would really be able to be present when I was at the height of my spiritual awakening and my journey. And then when I fell back down into the 3D, hard and deep, into a soul-sucking corporate career, I had to learn to claw my way back out and find bliss again on my spiritual journey. And that's what this is about. So share your habits with me. Check the description if you need to email me. Let me know what you'd like to see next. And maybe your question might be a video that I make. Thanks for hanging out on Soul's Purpose Podcast. My name is Ellie Marie, and I'll see you next time. Bye.